In the primary recovery phase of oil production, both gravity and the natural pressure of the reservoir drive oil into the production well. Typically, only about 10% of the original oil in the reservoir can be produced in the primary recovery phase. During primary recovery, water that exists naturally in the oil reservoir is produced alongside the oil. Upon reaching the surface, the produced oil and water are separated. The oil is held in storage tanks and then transported for sale. The water, or oil field brine, is held in a storage tank for later use. Once the pressure in the reservoir has begun to drop, it is necessary to utilize secondary recovery techniques to continue to produce oil from the reservoir at an economical rate. Secondary recovery techniques will help maintain the pressure in the reservoir and extend a well's productive life. One of the most common secondary techniques, water flooding, uses the injection of water into the reservoir to drive more oil towards the production well. To prepare for the water flood process, additional water is brought to the pad site and held in a storage tank. This water will be injected into the reservoir with the previously recovered oil field brine. Certain production wells are selected as injection wells for pumping water into the reservoir, or, if necessary, new injection wells may be drilled. The precise configuration of these wells will vary, but one of the most common is the 5-spot pattern. A 5-spot pattern has 4 water injection wells located at the corners of a square, with a producing well at the center. Once the injection wells are established, water is pumped through them and down into the reservoir. As the water enters the reservoir from the injection wells, it creates pressure and sweeps the oil towards the production well. The water flood process is repeated throughout the field and can recover an additional 10 to 20% of the original oil in the reservoir. The water is injected until it reaches the production well in large quantities. Once the ratio of water to oil produced from a well becomes too high, it is no longer economical to continue with the water flood, and the process is complete.